to another layout. Don't mind me. Okay, right. Start again. Boy, it's hot here. Whoa. It is so hot. Queensland is going through a really, really hot spell. It's awful. Okay, so what am I doing? This is my new smasher pad that I'm going to do my next couple of videos. Well, hang on, rewind, start that again. So pretty much what I do, if you haven't seen any of my smasher pad series, if you're new to my channel, hi, welcome. I basically create videos at least 6 a week, unless something untoward happens like it did a few weeks ago when I got COVID. Now, basically, what this series is where I want to show people that if you use a 6x6 paper pad, it doesn't have to be a limit. Like, you don't have to put limitations on yourself and go, I don't really buy 6x6 because I need a full 12x12 because I'm doing 12x12 layout. I show you ways around that. And I also inadvertently show you how exactly I would use up an entire paper pad, because let's face it, we all do it. We buy a paper pad and we're drawn to at least half of the paper pad. We'll go, oh, I can use that, I can use that, I can use that. Oh, that one's a bit sketchy. Don't know if I'll even use that. And we sort of skip over some of it, and it ends up being a waste of money. Let's be honest, it's a waste of money. So what I'm trying to do is show you different ways that you can use a paper pad. This particular one is the Carter Bella Paper Co. Craft and Create paper pad. So it's a 6x6. It's, if you want to get it, I got mine from Crazy Craft Obsession, and they will have, there's a link in my description for the store if you want to swing over there and grab one. If you want to, maybe you've got similar photos to what I have, or you like the page layout, or maybe you even like the colors of the paper pad. Basically, yeah, that's about it. So I'm doing 2 photos. These are 4x6 photos. I didn't trim them down or anything because I wanted to show you that you can, just because your paper is 6x6, your paper pad, it doesn't mean that you can't use a 4x6 photo. Now, here's the catch. If you noticed right at the beginning there was the hole. So I didn't trim, you know when you get a 6x6 paper pad and it's got the hole where, you know, the manufacturer's hook so they can sell it in a retail store and they can hook it on a pegboard. Well, I left that circle on there. Then what I've done is I've grabbed a different piece of paper because I love this blue. This is like, to me, this is a tattered rose and a sapphire blue. Like it's just, yeah, I love these 2 colors together, and Angela's shirt in these photos matched it perfectly. So I decided to scrap this page. Now this is a darkroom door stencil. Again, I got it from Crazy Craft Obsession. They have these small stencils. They're super affordable and you can use them in so many different ways, and they just add something extra to your page. It doesn't have to be over the top. This one is called, what's this one called? Did I write it down? Polka dots. That's what this stencil's called. Darkroom Door is an Australian brand, so I like to, for all my Aussie and Kiwi peeps, if you like to support, you know, down under, that's another way you can do it. So basically I went through and I've picked out 2 distress oxides. I picked out chipped sapphire, and I put, because I wanted it to be bold, and I got tattered rose. Now what you're seeing me do here is I'm trying to line the stencil back up with where it was. Hindsight, guys, with 20/20 vision, guess what? Try and line your stencil up in an easy way. So I was sort of half putting it on the page, and it wasn't all the way to the top of the page. It was difficult to line it back up again, but that's okay. So I'm just adding a couple of these 2 colors through the polka dot stencil, and look at that. See, super easy to clean off, not a problem. Now I did rough up the sides of, so I did distress the blue strips, and I did very gently distressed the pink part that I'm putting through the center. Now what I'm doing here, what you're seeing me do, is I'm actually using the Ranger texture. It's called transparent matte paste. That's what it is. And I think I even got that. I may have got that from Crazy Craft Obsession too, actually. Now, what I've done, you saw me with those little tiny circles. If you're new to my channel, I've got the Distress watercolor pencils. So what I do is when I sharpen some of the pencil so I can use it just as a pigment to dye things. And what I've done is I've just basically mixed the Tattered Rose pencil, because I had that in the color range. So I mixed that in with a transparent paste. So it's going to give you, it's the same color, but because it's in a different medium, it's going to give you it's going to look a little bit darker, but it's actually the same color. So that's one of the reasons why when I committed and decided that I was going to really delve into the mixed media and, you know, really bring you guys as much content as I can about it, to try and remove the fear of mixed media. Because a lot of people, and I get it, if you don't want to be messy, you don't like messy stuff in your scrapbooks. I'm just holding the paste there so you can see what the jar looks like. I understand some people don't like being messy. I actually don't mind it because I have a segregated craft room and I have my own craft table, so I don't mind doing it. See how the Tattered Rose goes perfectly. It matches in beautifully with the color in the paper pad. So it worked perfectly. It was great. Now, I'm just moving. I didn't glue those down perfectly straight away because I'm waiting. Some of the transparent paste is still a little bit damp. So now I created a title here, and I didn't write down what the font was, and I meant to do it, and it was gone, and I didn't save it in my Cricut. Like, ugh. What it actually is, it's a bubble writing, but it comes automatically with kind of an offset. So I didn't have to create an offset for it. So I just pulled out the letters out of the center, and I'm just adding the color onto the faux offset, if that's what you want to call it, I suppose. So I'm using the same colors again. So all the way through, when I'm doing something like this and I'm trying to use the same colors repetitively, but using them in different mediums, you know, blending them differently, using different applications. So either a finger dauber or a sponge, you know, your round circle dauber, you could use it if you had the colors in paint, you could do it in paint. You could use your watercolored pencils and color it in. You could use the Distress Oxides. I also have the Distress inks. I could have used those as well. I went with the Oxides though because that's what I used in the background. So that's what I had out. So yeah, so then I went along, once it had dried a little bit, I did the letters, and then I went through with my sewing machine and I just added a detail. It doesn't stand out, it's not in your face, but it's just a little something that when you look at the close-ups at the end, you'll see that it just adds a little something. So I did a zigzag, and then I went along just with a straight stitch as well, just to add, again, a little bit of detail for around your eye, like just to sort of go, oh, hang on, there's stitching on there kind of thing. So that's what I did with that. Now I glued the photos down because I was waiting for that background to dry properly, and I wanted to stitch along there as well. So here's my title, and here's where I realized, this isn't going to work up here. So I had to rethink this because, as you can see, it sort of just disappears when it's going on top of the same color. It just completely disappeared. So that's okay. I worked with it, and I had a little bit of a play, and realized, and you'll see me tap my fingers in a minute, because I was struggling, and my hands were really, really sore. My hands have been giving me a lot of grief. So with the heat has not been helping. So if you're new to my channel, I have I got rheumatoid arthritis really bad, and I also have fibromyalgia. And for the last week or so, whew, my hands and my wrists and my elbows, everything's been giving me grief. But that being said, that we have had, 30, 36, 37 degree days, and the humidity is through the roof. Like, I hate humidity. Absolutely hate it. But it is what it is. Luckily, I have the air conditioning in my house, hey. So basically, to fix the issue that I had with my title, I could have stuck it down onto another sheet of cardstock and created my own kind of offset myself. I could have done that, but I actually think it works just being put across the top of the photo and across the bottom of the photo. It totally works. So what else can I tell you? This week, I have got a couple of big orders coming, and I will do, if you want to see an unboxing of those, I'm talking, there's a fair whack. If Cass is watching this video, she will confirm. I've placed a pretty good, decent order or two this week. So I've decided, and I've made the commitment, because this is what I have to do. In my mind, the amount of videos that I make and all the rest of it, I want to be able to bring you things that are feasible for you to get your hands on. So if you are an Aussie and you want to scrap like me, I want to be able to get products that we can readily get here. If you're somewhere, US, you guys can get pretty much anything over there anyway, and your stuff is so much cheaper. I'm so jealous. But it's a lot dearer over here. But that being said, Crazy Craft Obsession does look after me, so I am absolutely super grateful for that, because it really does help me out. Being able to bring you guys new to me products, and even the newest products, it allows me to bring you different ideas, and I'm able to extend my creativity down a different sort of path, which is really good. So you saw me there. This is just the Distress. Instead of using the Distress Oxide ink, I wanted to just do some teeny tiny specks. This paper that I've put down, I worked out why it was bugging me. It had no pattern on it whatsoever. It was just a flat color. So I grabbed the Tattered Rose in the Distress watercolor pencil shavings, and I just put a little pile there and just put some water on it, and that's what I used to splatter. Now, it is so subtle. This layout, even though the blue seems really bold and in your face, I'm about to show you how you can make it more subtle. Softer, I think, is probably the word I'm looking for. This is how I'm going to soften. I know, I just pulled out hardware, right? Okay, this is metal, and I'm going to soften it. It works. Now, I've already used this particular ribbon. I think I used it early last week, and it was still in the corner of my eye, and I thought, you know what? I don't use ribbon enough, and I don't use eyelets enough. I think I need to sort of bring that into some of my layouts a little bit more. It's just one of those things. I think we end up with so many supplies that we forget to reach for the older stuff. We're always reaching for the newer stuff. So I've gone around and I've marked 1 inch all the way around. Now, this is my crocodile. I have left this in, but I have sped this right up, because if you're new to my channel, that's what I do. I speed my videos up. I don't edit chunks out, because I want you to walk away knowing that it is actually doable. And if I make a mistake, you see the mistake. You realize that it happens to everybody. Now, this is my crocodile punch. If you don't have one of these, or you don't know what they are, they have two different hole punches, one on each side. And then in the centerpiece, in the mouth bit, I suppose you call it, you actually have in the center, it's got a couple of like plastic grommets kind of thing, and it's got metal bits on it, and you're able to move those around to be able to set different sized eyelets or pins, or there's different ways of doing it. Now this thing is heavy. I will be honest with you, I used to always, years and years and years gone by, I used to just use my hand setting tool, right? And I'd punch the holes and I'd set them. Now, see how easy I made that side look? Guess what? The next three sides are not easy. They bounced out everywhere. It was driving me crazy. But I left this in to show you, this is legitimately how long it took me to do this. It took me about 15 minutes in total to go around and do all the holes and do all the eyelets. So I was using my wax tip pen there because my fingers, so something that happens with my hands when they swell up, basically from my second knuckle down, I can't feel my hands. So I was really struggling with these small eyelets to try and get them in the hole. And that's a me problem. That's not an eyelet problem. And that's not the tools problem. That's just purely me and my hands and what I have to deal with. But I decided that what I was going to do, something that was going to tie, and I know I've done the border, but I wanted to tie it all together with something a little bit more feminine, a little bit more, you know, like ribbons. When you think of ribbons, you think of, you know, you could put that in little girls' hair. I used to put that in my girls' hair when they were younger. And I thought that would work. And she's, you'll never catch her dead in a dress, like not a chance. Jen will wear a dress whenever she gets the opportunity. Taylor, she's like me. We don't wear dresses. I don't wear dresses ever. I wore my wedding dress. I said to my husband, enjoy it, because it's the only time you're going to see me in a dress. I just don't wear them. And I've just always been like that. It's just who I am, I think. So yeah, so I'm going around. Now these eyelets are just some that were in my collection that I've had forever. I can't even, they're smaller eyelets. So with the crocodile, you get a big hole or a smaller hole. So your bigger eyelet, like your We Are eyelets, they set them beautifully. Now, what I'm actually doing here, I did this off screen. The only thing I did do off screen was I used a match and I melted the end. You know how, like with a ribbon, you can melt the very end of it so it doesn't fray? I did that, and I did it off screen because I don't want YouTube to flag me and whatnot. I don't want the algorithm to see it as a problem. So hence, so all I'm doing is, and the reason I measured all of this, I know, stick with me guys. The reason I measured all these holes is because I wanted it to be able to finish in such a way that it was going back down into the back of the page. So it goes all the way around, but you can't really see where it starts and where it finishes. That's what I wanted to do with it. And it just added a little bit of metallic shimmer. That is what this layout needed. I need a little bit of shine and a little bit of shimmer on every page. I can't, very, very rarely, sometimes if I have no shine or shimmer, I will add some, what's it called? Glossy accents. And that just gives me shine. It gives me reflection that's kind of what I need with my layouts. That I just really like that. So that's what I was doing with this particular layout. So as you can see, I measured out my ribbon. I made it a little bit longer than it needed to be. I started up in the top left corner. I pulled them through, made sure that both sides were the same length, because they're going through the same amount of holes. So up, down, all the way around, and it totally works. I think it works. Do you do anything like this on your layouts? Let me know down below. And I think you can see what I do here. I was mindful. So I pulled that one down through, and then I put this one over down the other hole. So you can actually see that I've pulled it through. I think I show you right at the very end. So it come out the back, and then I tied it in a knot. So that way there's no actual, see, it's gone through the very bottom. So here it is up close, guys. Let me know what you think. Is this something that you would consider trying? I know it takes a little bit of time to get those eyelets in there, but you know what? They're perfectly straight because I measured from the base of my ruler. You know how it's got that little 5mm bit? That's how I measured it to get it perfectly straight. So these, see how the ribbon, I think it just looks really cute. It's something extra. There you can see the sewing. It's not a lot, but it's there. So my shameless plug, let me know, guys, if you like it, if you don't like it. Is it something you want to try? If you haven't subscribed or liked my channel, please, I would super appreciate it if you do. That allows other people to find my channel via the algorithms. You can see the little splatters there. And thank you so much for watching. I will chat to you soon. Bye for now.